So, you probably already saw the title and saw the image, so I don't need to bait you any further. Yeah, the Night Lords are my favorite Chaos Legion. Although I will say, before I go any further, the Word Bearers come in at a solid second place. Yeah. I know a lot of people are like, really, the Word Bearers? That's your second favorite? It used to be my favorite, but then I read the Night Lords trilogy and realized, man, the Night Lords are really actually pretty fucking cool. And the reason why I stayed away from the Night Lords for so long was because a few things. There was a few things that made me, keep an arm's length away from the Night Lords. The biggest reason being that I thought they were the biggest reason was Konrad Curze. I personally fucking hate Konrad Curze. He is just this goddamn edgelord who he's uninteresting. He bitches and moans about everything and was just like, oh, I can see the future. What's the point of trying to change anything? I'll just be a Chaos Legion, I'll just join the ruinous powers. And all the Night Lords are like, we were part of the Loyalists before? Were we? Yeah. So the Night Lord, so Konrad Curze was Konrad was the big reason why I was never like the biggest Chaos fan. I did like Chaos, but like the Night Lords in general. I didn't care much for the Night Lords in general. It was mostly because of their Primarch. And I stayed away from them. There was a second reason why I didn't like them at first, is because they're just so fucking edgelord looking, right? Like they're all just like, they're dressed like bats and spikes and have skin on their armor and shit like that. And they're just supposed to look so fucking metal, but it just looks so ridiculous. The reason why, for the longest time, the Word Bearers, before they got bumped by the Night Lords, I really dug the Word Bearers because I think Lorgar's a way more interesting of the Traitor Primarchs. I think, his story, even though, yes, Lorgar's a bit of a bitch, let's not get things twisted. I think, the whole thing of him, wanting to worship the Emperor like a god, and also his sons, he and his sons genuinely wanted to help people. And in a weird, twisted way, the Word Bearers still want to. And they're the most united of the Chaos Legions. But we don't do anything, but that's kind of the part of the course. We don't do anything with this character or any of the plot lines. Part of the course with Warhammer in general, I know. So why did the Night Lords take the number one spot for me in terms of the Chaos Legions? Again, it was the Night Lords trilogy. Aaron Dembski Bowden knows how to write, edgy characters, but also make them interesting. That's what I give credit to, is that Aaron Dembski Bowden, whenever he whenever his name is on a Warhammer novel, I'm like, oh, so we're actually going to get good quality here. Okay. Him, Dan Abnett, Robert Rath, I would even say I know Jude Reed's kind of polarizing when it comes to Arthur work, her work, but I like it. I think she's pretty good. Yeah. There's a lot of I should do ranking authors or Warhammer authors someday. I should do that, but getting back on topic. But yeah, Aaron Dembski Bowden's Night Lord trilogy was the deciding factor. It really he looked at the Night Lord. I feel like Dembski Bowden I think Bowden just looked at the Night Lords and said, okay, fucking, where do I start? So he took the whole idea of the Night Lords being these big scary monsters and just giant edgelords, and he took it and he's basically yeah, that whole thing of the war of Konrad Curze hating his sons. Yeah, let's really play with that. Let's really play with the idea of Konrad never cared to be a Primarch. He never cared about his sons, and the Night Lords on a whole really internalize that. And I really like that. I really especially when Talos calls Konrad to his bullshit to his face. I also really the other thing is, again, the characters themselves, it takes the whole thing of the Night Lords are these big, edgy, monsters, but really, Talos says it best in one of the books, where he's just we claim to be like these monsters in the night, but we cut and run the moment we lose the element of surprise or when the Imperial forces are too great for us. We just scatter like frightened children, and all we do is try to strike fear, but when that fear is turned on us, we immediately just duck and cover. So, I like that. And the other characters like Cole, Talos, others, all of those characters are fascinating and deep, while still remaining that kind of aura of, yeah, we're really awful, and the things we'll do to you are really awful. And I guarantee you, Night Lords are really good at doing really awful things to normal people. I really love the story behind all of them. They are, like, all of the Night Lords characters in this trilogy are really complex, even though, yes, they're Chaos Legion, they don't serve chaos, and they're more about, you know, fighting a war against an Imperium that basically cheated them, really. And now they're here fighting everyone, because in their way, this is their way of getting back at the Imperium and having their own form of law and order installed. So, yeah, at the end of the day, like, again, it's kind of funny, because I really did try my best to, like, resist being a fan of the Night Lords, because I'm like, they're just so fucking edgy. Like, they're so fucking, like, edgelord, it's not even funny. So, I was just kind of this mindset of, there's no goddamn way I'm going to be ever a fan of the Night Lords. And then when I read the Night Lords Omnibus, I was like, it was like that Danny DeVito meme where it's like, oh my god, I get it. It was like that. So yeah, Night Lords became my favorite. They were they're very fascinating. They're way more interesting than their Primarch. Conrad Curze can go fuck himself for all I fucking care. His sons are way more interesting characters, and again, he was one of the biggest reasons why I didn't like the Night Lords. Hell, everything about them is just edgelord. I was just like, it felt outside looking in, and I do understand that, like, if you're outside looking in at the Night Lords like I was, yeah, I could see why you would want to laugh at them. Like, oh, they're big and scary, and they have, like, oh, they wear human skin, and, you know, have spikes on their armor, and look like bats, and their title, and their war cry is Ave Dominus Nox, Hail the Night. Woo! Also, their Primarch it looks like he shops at Hot Topic. Ooh, so cool. So it was nice. It was a nice reprieve to see that. Now, if I was to rank, like, I might do a ranking. If I was to say, like, how much I enjoy what my favorite Chaos Legions are and why they're placed the way they are, I might do that as a future video. But yeah, so I would say, there you go. That's my favorite Chaos Legion. I'll tell you who's at the bottom of the list. I'll tell you who's the bottom of the list right now. I do not give a single iota of a shit about the Alpha Legion. Don't care. Alfarius sucks. Alpha Legion sucks. They are a walking meme. There you go. But anyway, you guys tell me in the comments below, what is your favorite Chaos Legion? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.